making things so hard for Evan? Well, because our answer becomes more useful that way. If we determine that Evan can live out his entire natural lifespan inside a worst-case scenario grocery store with no utilities, then we know that he can also live a full lifespan inside a grocery store where water is easy to come by, and the shelf life of many foods can be extended using refrigeration. So, with all that housekeeping out of the way, the time has finally come to determine Evan's fate. How long is the maximum amount of time that one person can survive inside the grocery store? Well, let's talk about that crucial first day. Me, I see it playing out a little something like this. Locks the doors behind it. Outside, some super intense doomsday scenario is raging on. Thinking alien zombies. You know, the only other person with true love, theory stuff. Together they swore that if they were ever separated, Hader brothers, where they started their love in the frozen food aisle. Being the first to arrive, it is now Evan's sacred duty to wait and to survive for as long as he possibly can without leaving. Look, we put a lot of work into this episode. We are going to amp it up with the drama. The grocery store's power is out, which means that the dairy section and the deli section are going to be the first to spoil. Evan knows that he has to act quickly. Bacteria can render room temperature dairy and raw meat too dangerous for human consumption, plus a variety of minerals and vitamins. So the more varied his diet is, the better. Amino acids, you gotta catch them all. Evan also knows that the life of various raw meats by about a month. Even without refrigeration or electricity, the store has everything he needs. There's 377 pounds of salt in aisle 6 for curing the meat, and there's a downright shocking amount of fire building supplies in aisle 13 for smoking the meat. Via curing and smoking, he's able to save 120,000 calories worth of raw meat from spoiling, which, while impressive, is a mere fraction of the meat supply calories that would be available to him in the section if things didn't spoil. But hey, extra time is extra time. By doing this all-important first step, Evan can ensure that red meat, poultry, and even seafood are a part of his diet for the first couple months of his grocery store stay. Plus, Evan's building is the fire, which second category. Foods like canned goods, wine, breakfast cereal, and peanut butter, which all can be made over time. After all, rancid peanut butter isn't exactly pleasant to eat, and perhaps the only thing less appetizing than eating wet dog food is eating expired wet dog food. Deep down, Evan knows that he needs to eat his way through the latter category first. So let's get to it. Now, there are a lot of foods that fall into this category, which means Evan is forced to eat a lot of stale and rancid food over the next few decades. Or 4.6 years worth of food. And because canned food is sterile and sealed, then people can't get into it unless the can gets dented or damaged in some way. Similarly, fat. For Evan, I mean, to get to this point, he would have had to have gone through 5,100 cans of wet pet food, but he fixed it, and now he's suddenly, moments after Evan draws his final breath, we hear a key turn in the lock. It's the Arista. At long last, she's made it to their agreed-upon rendezvous point. She got waylaid for a few decades by, I don't know, did I say zombie aliens? Something? Anyway, through it all, she never stopped thinking about her true love, Evan. Alas, though, she's too late. Yeah, it is a super bummer of an ending. If only Evan had figured out a way to stay alive just a wee bit longer, they could have held each other one last time. But there's no way Evan could have pulled that one off. The shelves are empty. There's nothing else he could have done. Unless...
Let me see.
That's right, dearest. Evan still has one last card to play. Farm. A lot of grocery stores have at least a small flower section with potted plants. Our Stater Brothers was no different, and had about 4 cubic feet of potting soil in all. This soil, of course, can be used to create a small garden with seeds and spores harvested from the produce section in the early days. Potatoes, which conveniently contain with such a limited supply of soil, Evan is never going to be able to survive entirely off his garden. Even if he doubles his soil volume by mixing in 50% compost, which is the maximum ratio recommended. 8 cubic feet of soil can support about 24 potato plants. Each plant produces about 110 calorie potatoes per year, for 26,400 calories annually. Seriously, that is not even 2 weeks worth of food. If only there was a crop that could grow in 100% compost. After all, Evan's got way more than 4 cubic feet of that lying around. And his compost pile only grows bigger with every passing day. Well, I've got good news for you, Evan, because there is such a crop. It requires no sunlight to grow, minimal water, and is readily available in grocery stores. I'm talking mushrooms. Mushroom stems from the grocery store are really easy to propagate. Pretty much all you need to create a mushroom terrarium is an empty plastic bottle and coffee grounds. And of course, Evan has plenty of access to those. From there, mushrooms can be introduced into the compost pile. And from here, the numbers start working out in Evan's favor in a big way. 1 pound of button mushrooms contains 100 calories. A growing area of around 200 square feet can produce 5,000 pounds of mushroom per year. That means that in order to get the 2,000 calories per day he needs to survive, Evan would only need to plant about 3,000 square feet of button mushrooms. And in a 30,000 square foot grocery store, I don't think 10% of your floor space is too much to sacrifice for a crop that will spare you the indignity of gulping down inspired baby
Ow.
food. Between mushrooms and the potato garden, Evan will have renewable resources of essential amino acids, vitamins, and minerals, not to mention a surplus of calories. So not only will farming allow Evan to survive long enough to see his beloved Theorista again, he won't have to eat a single expired food product along the way. So at long last, theorists were finally able to answer the question in full. Not only can a person survive their entire natural life locked inside of a grocery store using only the food inside, but that person's family and future generations can make do as well. Evan's story has a happy ending, and it's all thanks to farming. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit. Thanks for supporting the Food Theory channel, friends. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would recommend heading over and watching our episode on pizza optimization next. We ran real-world tests to determine which pizza chain can give you the most bang for your buck. It's YouTube that you can use, so give her a watch, hit that subscribe button and click, and I'll see you all next week.
My neighbors they're born in 1000 and still to like a monster, incredible, becoming old school.
157 Minecraft facts you possibly didn't know. This year we've covered plenty of different Minecraft trivia and facts. So today we're joined by Vlog Facts to go through some of our favorites and some new ones as well. And hey, according to YouTube, it's physically impossible to subscribe to the channel in less than a second. So if you're up to the challenge, let's put 1 second on the clock so you can prove them wrong. Ready? Go. And hey, even if you subscribed after a second, thank you. It all helps out a ton. Nowadays, we all know this guy is Steve. Well, that's an iconic enough name to get him into Smash Bros.
I'm not African.
It turns out, the player didn't always have that moniker. In fact, it wasn't until his first guest appearance in the indie game Super Meat Boy that he was finally called Steve. And by all accounts prior, he was just a nameless figure. If you've ever built a snow golem in Minecraft, you might have Amazon to thank for their inclusion. Let me explain. In this tweet back in September of 2011, Notch explained that because of problems with the Amazon Web Services, or AWS, he got frustrated enough to make the snow mom. And now you can buy snow golem merch on Amazon, so I guess it comes full circle.
Over the years, Mojang have made several huge changes to the textures we know, but some old ones stick around as a reference. Take the fisherman, for example. Here you'll notice the blue of the old fish texture laid out on the bottom of their clothes. And while that might seem like an oversight, the head artist Jasper marked it as intentional on the bug tracker.
If you've been in any fandom, you've definitely heard the word shipping come up before. And while that's its own can of worms, it seems like someone at LEGO agrees with you. Since in the July and August issue of LEGO Club magazine in 2016, it was officially mentioned that Steve is Alex's boyfriend. Which is cute, but only until you make the two of them fight.
Minecraft has a couple different cows to choose from, whether that's the Moo Shroom, Minecraft Earth's Moo Blue, or of course the standard variant. But it turns out there's one more. See, back when Minecraft had a special demo version on the PC Gamer website, the cows had a logo on their side like so, which is a more welcome form of branding for sure.
What would you call this mob? Well, nowadays we would almost all agree that it's a chicken, but that wasn't always the case. And in fact, there was much debate about whether this was a chicken or a duck. And when Notch tweeted this saying that there were ducks before closing the beta, that only added more fuel to the fire, even if it was just a joke.
Minecraft has its fair share of hidden messages. While some of these are funny, this is just bizarre. See, hidden in the release notes of the Minecraft launcher, you can find this encrypted message. And if we translate it, it tells us that the axolotls are not what they seem. And honestly, that doesn't make any more sense translated than it did before.
Baby piglins are an annoying mob for sure. And while that's true in all versions, it seems particularly apparent in the Bedrock edition. Over here, we can equip the toddlers with a full set of armor and a sword. And that turns these bratty kids into something a lot more sinister.